Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Eva, a mortgage professional talking all things finance. Now in today's video, I want to simplify the mortgage process. A lot of people think it's this complicated, massive thing, but in actual fact, it's not. It is pretty simple, and I'm going to show you guys step by step of how everything comes together, and more so, how we do it. So make sure you watch all the way until the end so that you don't miss out anything important. Alrighty, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Right guys, so I've narrowed the process down to 12 simple steps to make you understand how it all comes together. So I always bang on about this in all my videos, but as soon as you're thinking of getting a mortgage, contact an independent mortgage advisor such as ourselves to go over your options to see what your options actually realistically are, as this will help you massively further down the line. Trust me on that one. So here comes step number 1, and that's the inquiry stage. So this is where you either approach your bank or you approach an independent mortgage advisor about potentially obtaining a mortgage. At this stage, it's only just a chat, you tell them what you're planning and they tell you what they can possibly offer, and then that's that at this stage really. Then you move on to step number 2, which is the actual initial meeting that you have, once again, either with your bank or with your mortgage advisor. At this stage, they will explain the whole process to you and what you can expect throughout the whole thing. And if they don't, find a new advisor. You need to understand exactly what's happening throughout the whole process. That is really, really important. Getting a mortgage is one of the biggest financial commitments you'll ever have in your life. So it's vital, and I mean vital, that you understand what is going on at every single stage. So at this meeting, everything should be explained to you in a lot of detail. And if it isn't, question it. This meeting is used as a fact-finding session. So the mortgage advisor may ask you to provide some details up front. So with the likes of what we do is we have an online fact find. So if you send me an inquiry, I will initially assess it. However, I will then send you a link to our online fact find for you to complete, just so I've got a little bit more information to go off in order to help you a bit better. But sometimes this can happen during the actual meeting, and either way is absolutely fine. And remember, the more facts you give your mortgage advisor, the better, as the more information they have, the easier it is for them to recommend the right product and solution for you, as we're all different and we all have different circumstances. So step number 3 is the actual document gathering stage. I always call this the boring stage because we ask for so many different documents, but it's all for good reason. We have various compliance procedures that we have to comply with, but as well as that, we need to evidence a lot. So we will require quite a lot of different documentation, such as your passport, driving license, bank statements, any copies of loan agreements, car finance agreements, proof of deposit, things like that. But once again, all of this will be communicated to you at the time, and you'll be made aware of everything we need. So once the fact finding and document gathering is all done, we then take it all to assess your borrowing capacity. So this is how much you can actually borrow, how much are various lenders willing to lend you. And here is where the importance of using an independent mortgage advisor comes into play, because what you'll find is that different lenders have different criteria, and what that ultimately means for you is that different lenders are willing to lend you different amounts. So some lenders will actually lend you more than others, and some won't lend you any money at all. So it's always worth exploring your various options to avoid a mortgage being declined if you go straight to your bank. Now this is especially the case if there's something quirky about your case. So for example, if you're self-employed, that can throw things out. If you've got an unusual employment and the way that you get paid, things like that can throw things out. So always consult an independent mortgage advisor. And I am sorry for banging on about it so much, but it's true. So once you know how much you can actually borrow, add your deposit on top of that, and that's your purchase price. So you can go out to the market and have a look at the properties that you're interested in. And if you are interested in one, put an offer in. There's nothing stopping you at this stage to put an offer in. As long as your mortgage advisor has said that there is a good chance of you obtaining a mortgage based on everything you provided them with, everything should be good to go. So happy house hunting. Okay, so you probably will have heard the term decision in principle. A lot of estate agents will ask you for this once an offer has been accepted on a house. That just shows to them that you can obtain a mortgage. Now, the problem with a decision in principle is that it actually doesn't mean much because the lenders only carry out very basic checks at this point. So the mortgage application could still get declined further down the line once you actually apply for it. So a decision in principle in effect doesn't actually mean that much. So don't rely on it too much. Now, if the estate agent is adamant that they require one, at this point your mortgage advisor can apply for one. Now, what we tend to do in those circumstances is we're happy to speak to the estate agents on your behalf and tell them that yes, we are confident that you can actually get a mortgage. But if they insist on seeing a decision in principle, at this point we need to make sure that the lender that we obtain the decision principle from is most likely going to be the lender that you'll end up getting your mortgage with, as otherwise it just creates more hassle. So we like to do this at the very last minute when we know things are going to progress quite quickly, just because the deals change on a daily basis and we want to ensure that you do get the right deal for you at all times. But in a lot of cases, estate agents will be quite happy with a confirmation from your mortgage advisor that yes, you can get a mortgage. So step number 7 is to choose a solicitor. Now, this is obviously a vital step in the whole process because in order for us to apply for a mortgage on your behalf, we will require the solicitor details, as the lender will correspond directly with your solicitor. So the best thing to do that is to get 3 quotes from local solicitors to see which one you ultimately want to go with. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but don't always go with the cheapest quote. You want to go with the recommendation from someone ideally. So if your friends and family have gone through the process and they've used a really good solicitor, I would always go with a recommendation over price, if that makes sense. So even if they are slightly more expensive, but you know for a fine fact they'll do a good job and they'll get it done quickly, which is a problem nowadays, then I would go with that solicitor. But yeah, always do your research, guys, always. So then we usually book a second meeting in with yourself just to talk over the product that we've ended up choosing based on your circumstances. And by product, I mean the actual rate that you're going to be paying for the next however many years. So whether we go for a fixed rate or a variable rate, whether we go for a 2-year fixed or a 5-year fixed, if it is a fixed rate, all of this will be explained to you and the reason behind choosing that particular product to make sure you understand our reasoning behind it. At the end of the day, we advise on the products that we recommend to you. So if you disagree with any of it, we need to know and we need to work together on that. And at that point, you then agree whether to go ahead with the full application or whether not to go ahead. So here comes step number 9, which is the full application to the lender. So at this stage, we just put all the information that we've gathered onto the lender's system to apply for your mortgage. Now, bear in mind that your mortgage could still get declined at this stage, especially if there's something that wasn't disclosed to us. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's linked to your credit report. So we always ask for that when we do the document gathering stage. We will always ask for a copy of your credit report to make sure there's no nasty surprises on there that could potentially throw the mortgage out. So providing the mortgage application has been accepted, the lender will then instruct a valuation report. So this could be a standard valuation report that usually comes free with any product that we choose, or it'll be a home buyer's report, which is for the benefit of you. Now, we tend to recommend getting a home buyer's report as it highlights anything that's fundamentally not quite right with the house, any immediate repairs that need to be looked at. It's very important that you are aware of any issues. So a home buyer's report is for your benefit rather than the lender's. Whereas if you just opt for the standard free valuation, you don't get any benefit from that. It's only for the lender. But once again, this should all be explained to you at the point of your initial meeting as to which valuation you'd prefer to go for and also the costs involved. Once the valuation is back and the lender is happy with everything, they're happy with the value of the house, that it's exactly what you're paying for it, at this stage they'll normally issue a mortgage offer, which is a legally binding document between both parties. A copy of the mortgage offer will be sent to yourself and your solicitor, and from there on the lender will also send additional documents to your solicitor, such as a certificate of title for them to complete. So there may be certain documents that your solicitor will need you to sign at this stage, but they will make you aware of this. Now, I'd always say that at this stage you should have your deposit ready to go, ideally in one account if it isn't already, just so that when your solicitor gives you the invoice, you're ready just to pay it, as that way everything is a lot smoother. Remember, if there is a help to buy ISA involved, make sure your solicitor is aware of this from the outset, because they'll need to actually apply for the bonus process on your behalf, so they need to know that that's involved, as that can take a little bit of time, so you need to make sure it all ties in together. But ultimately, once you've received your mortgage offer, at this stage it's up to the solicitors to then agree a completion date with the other party. So you'll go through exchange of contracts right through to completion, and to be honest, there's usually not that much time in between them. But the one thing you'll need to have in place at the point of exchanging contracts is your buildings insurance, as that is a condition of your mortgage offer, is to have a valid buildings insurance policy. So make sure that's in place before you exchange contracts. And that is it, guys. That is the whole mortgage process. Now, as I said before, the best thing to do is to contact an independent mortgage advisor such as ourselves, so they can talk you and walk you through the whole process. You will most likely have 1,000 different questions throughout the whole process, so it's important that you have someone there that you can easily contact to get the answer. So just bear that in mind. So with that being said, if you found this video useful, please give it a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel down below. It is completely free, doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me massively. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys back on Friday with a brand new video. Bye guys.